Welcome back to the Solutions Lab. We're looking at problem number 34 of exercise 1.11. And here's our equation. Solving or isolating for the variable of interest mu is a fairly long process, so one might even say a bit tedious. So a reminder to stay focused on your equation solving procedure using a step-by-step approach to get to the final solution. We'll begin with step 1, where we eliminate the fraction that appears in this particular equation. Our denominator is R1, R2. So we're going to multiply the left side of the equation by the denominator and the right side of the equation by the denominator R1, R2. On the right hand side of the equation, this eliminates the fraction, and on the left hand side of the equation we just end up with the term R1, R2I. So here's our new expression without fraction. Step 2, if parentheses occur, use the distributive law. So we do have a bracket in our equation, so we'll take VR1 and multiply it through the bracket. It's going to leave us with two new terms, VR1 and VR1 mu. Now, as our equation changes, keep an eye on the variable of interest, mu. That is what we are trying to solve for. And so, if we look at the right-hand side of the equation, the variable of interest appears in this term, but does not appear in either of these two terms. So what we want to do is isolate this term on the right-hand side and move these two terms over to the other side of the equation. How do we do that? Well, we subtract. Right? So here we're going to subtract VR2, and what we do on the right-hand side of the equation, we also do on the left-hand side of the equation. And we're going to subtract VR1 from the right-hand side of the equation and the left-hand side of the equation. This eliminates those two terms, or actually moves them over to the other side of the equation. And here's our equation, once again rearranged. And now we have the term that contains mu on the right-hand side and everything else on the other side of the equation. Our final step now is to look at this term and think, how can we get the variable of interest isolated? Well, we're going to divide by the coefficient of the variable of interest, in this case VR1. So we're going to divide the right side of the equation by VR1, and we're going to divide the left side of the equation by VR1. On the right hand side of the equation, mu is now isolated, and we're complete.